Hey, what's up, guys? I'm at the channel. Today we're working on a boat motor's head. This is my girlfriend and stepdad's boat. Well, it's Forrest's boat. This is the head that came off it. And what happened was I have the up part outside, which I'll show you guys a little later, or I'll show you guys probably just a separate clip right here, or whatever how it goes. Basically, what it is, a riser basically sends water out of the engine that goes into the engine from. So actually here, so a boat motor, the way it's cooled, usually your most standard is usually gets sucks through the boat from the outside of the boat into the boat, goes through the engine, comes out into this hose here, goes out into this exhaust manifold. Now these are cooled. Exhaust manifolds on boats are cooled because it's trapped inside of an engine bay and it needs to be cooled off unless it's going to be turn beet red and it's a fire hazard and just a lot of heat in general, so not good for the engine. So it goes into here, comes up to these little holes you see under here. These holes, not these holes. These holes right here. Comes up to the riser and gets shot out to through the exhaust of the boat, basically. Now that riser piece cracked and caused water to come back through the manifold here, and I can see inside there it's all rotty, which is not uncommon to see, but came back through here and pretty much flooded inside the cylinders with water by going back this way through the exhaust ports. So what this has caused is the valves here to be all a little crappy looking. I can see right there it's not sealing well. If you look right there, which I'd say might be sealing well, so it might just be like, but whatever it is, the cylinders didn't have compression. They were literally like, it was 25, 26, 26, 106, something like that. Now there's one spot on the head gasket that was a little blown, but main issue is water went backwards right into the engine and caused all this damage here. And so basically what we gotta do today and do in general is we gotta take all these valves out, clean up all the valves, clean up all the rust off them, at least mostly, resurface the head. Well, not resurfacing the head like completely. Shadow, get off, stop licking the thing. I told you how many times not to lick that. Jesus Christ, she likes to lick that. I don't know why. Out of all things she likes to lick, she licks that. It's not terrible, I don't think. Oh crap, okay. Now, let's get this head actually, hold on. I'm gonna put the head over here, guys, and so I clean it up right here, and now what I'm gonna do is just transport the head over to here so that we can actually look at this a little better. So what we got here, guys, as you can see, this cylinder here looks crappy. This cylinder did look crappy just as much as this one did. Actually, probably a little worse. And then this one looks fine. This one actually, I don't know why this one had no compression, to be honest. This one, you know what, hold on. Let's see, let's look at the... Yeah, I'm not sure why this one had really no compression. This one sure really had compression. Even if I want to look inside here, it's a little crappy, and I know you guys can't really see very well because lighting sucks, sorry. But yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing here, we're going to start popping these valves out probably, and then just get all the valves out, we'll probably clean up here also, just lay all the valves and springs and all the goody stuff up here. We got our valve lapping compound right here. We got some blue dye to tell us where the valve is sealing at. And yeah, so show you guys a little bit about valve lapping and a little bit about just heads in general, see how they work and everything like that. All right, so guys, listen, we got the head right here. So what we're gonna start doing is gonna start popping the valves out. Now, me personally, this will all be one video, but me personally, I might have to stop because I gotta get a few things from the store, which as of right now, they're all closed right now, so I can't get anything from the store right now. But we're gonna start doing, we're gonna start taking the valves out. Now, this is a little trick if you guys never done valves and if you don't have a tool on you right there and then, or you're waiting for a tool but you want to get something apart, an easy way to get some of these valves off is simply, I used a 5/8 socket last time. I'm about to try a 13/16 socket. My grandfather taught me the trick. He told me he was a 5/8, but I'm gonna try a 13/16 right now. You also need a hammer. That's a given right now. And you also need something to put underneath the valves here. So I'm gonna put you guys right here. So here's the valves. What I use to get these ones out right here, I use a rubber mallet. I put a rubber mallet underneath the cylinder right here. So basically, just like this, and then you of course you put the head down like that, and you lay it on it, which you'll see in a second. But I used a rubber mallet before. But if you just find something like soft, not too soft for it to break, but something just to lodge the valve to stop it from trying to open. Because what the idea is, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this. Here's the object I'm using to lock my valve. Hold it right here. I'm gonna hold it right here. I have a little small thing, so just let it fall right on top of the valve. Just so that when I do the thing, it won't open. Now hopefully that's good. Now the idea of this trick, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing because this will be all in vain if you don't see. So this is the components of your valves here. You got this valve, of course. You got the spring. Now this goes on over up here, but you know, you're separated by a bunch of things, by a piece of metal actually. So valve goes up. This goes up on top. You have your, well actually, yeah, your valve retainer here. Now also, it also goes below this part here, is you got your seals here. Actually, you'll see it on right here. So you got a little seal here, and then you have these little O-rings that go over the exhaust, which the exhaust, you don't need a full seal like this. It's because it's not sucking, it's blowing. So the whole idea is just to stop oil being sucked down into the intake, which you got the spring, you got the valve retainer, or spring retainer, I don't know what they call it. Then you have these little things. Now these little guys are your locks. Now what these do, the spring pushes up, which you'll see over here in a second, which if you look right there, you see the valve retainer right there. These get locked on right here like this. These get locked in, and that stops your valve from basically, well, the spring locks onto this thing, which doesn't allow your valve to separate from the spring and fall into your cylinder and cause lots of damage, which you don't want. So we're gonna leave it that way. So we're gonna get back to doing the process here. If you guys want more more in depth of this, how exactly this all functions and works, I do have extra heads to explain more in depth, and we can definitely go more detail of how the valve train works and stuff like that. Just leave a comment down below to actually let me know if you're interested. But other than that, take the valve, start smacking it. Oh, god damn it! Hold it like there. Just gotta hold it. There we go. As you see, the little locks here came off. Now don't do this on the engine. I definitely don't recommend doing this on the engine because these things do fly and these will go into your oil pan and most likely not be happy. You won't be having a good day. So this is only if you have the head off, probably. You can probably do this without the head off, but you'll have to make sure that this thing stays flat the entire time, because the idea of this being here is to stop these things from flying around. So yeah, so I probably don't recommend doing this like that. But now we got the springs off. Now you see there's a little seal right here. This is the intake valve. But what we do, lift up, take our little obstruction device out. And what I'm gonna do here, move you guys right here, just watch the intake come out. There's the intake valve. I'm gonna give it a little tap. I'm gonna give it a little tap on the back here, because like I said, you gotta push to the seal. And then there's the valve. So there's our crappy intake valve. This one's actually not sealing that bad. Like I said, it's not the intake that's bad. Really, the exhaust side is what's gotten the brunt of all this. So we'll find out exactly. These are the two bad cylinders here that had literally no compression, basically. So we'll find out in 1 second after just back so you guys can watch. On the valve, like I said, make sure if it's not working after a few whacks, make sure your object you're using is not crushed or out of place, because that would definitely not. So yeah, so once I get all the tools and everything, I'm gonna just clean up the inside of these a good amount, you know, enough to, you know, I'm not gonna try to make it look spotless, but we're gonna make it look nice. We're gonna clean up these valve seats. Like I said, we're gonna be using this compound stuff and actually be using the valves themselves to actually reseat them to the metal here and get this actually seating upright properly. So one thing I can do, I can actually clean up some of this rust and stuff over here. So that's what we're gonna do. And then as soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna go out and, like I said, go get all the stuff I need. Alright, so I'm gonna start cleaning this up here a little bit more. Got the drill all recharged up, and now we're gonna get this thing going a little bit. On here, it's actually a metal gasket, so you gotta kind of like poke a hole into it underneath to get it off, so we get to what we want to get to. Alright, I got 2 cans of this now, so now we're just gonna clean this whole thing up and make sure that she's all nice and good. So as you guys can see there, it is pitted still. It is just terrible, terrible. No sealing at all. That will seal nothing at all. So I don't know how much detail this is picking up, but we're about to do some valve grinding just to get this thing all cleaned up and hopefully sealing at least 90% better at least. Just for reference, this is how it should look. It should at least look something like that. So you got something like this, and then you got things like that. Like, see that pitting all around it? It's actually in it too, to be honest. But I don't know how much the camera's picking it up. But yeah, it's terrible. When you look at this one, it's like, okay, it's good, it's good. There's like, you know, just a few things, areas, nothing major. Then you go to this, like, oh my god, it's like, what? This is terrible. Like, it's not gonna run happy this way. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna start getting the valves all cleaned up, and then we're gonna start doing some valve lapping and getting this thing all seated in. All right, so we're gonna get to lapping the valves now. So what we gotta do for this is, well, for one, we need to get, actually, yeah, we'll do it like this. So first, get some paint brushes. It's one thing, also be careful when you're lapping, when you start getting to this stuff, do not get it on the stem, because you can widen that hole and you ruin your valves, and you don't want to do that. Actually, you ruin the head, and you don't want to do that because it's expensive machine work. That it's probably better off getting a new head if this is like all right, so we're good now. Well, it feels like all the holes are now sealed up. So what we're gonna have to do though, because the valve's not going all the way down, we're gonna have to post this up slightly. So good thing for me is I have this bench here, so I can actually just move this stuff here back a little slightly. But you can also just put something underneath to make it nicer. And then, you know, just take the valve and just see if it hits, you know. The valve, it goes all the way down. That's exactly what I want. So let's get this one back up here. There we go. So what we'll start with is, maybe we'll start with the bad one first to really get you guys to see exactly what's going on. So we're gonna get our kit. Now my kit here has like a fine and a coarse grade. Now you can probably get away with just using like a mid grade, like kind of like this one here. Like this is what I used last time, but this one's like all watery. I don't think it's supposed to be watery, I forget. It's supposed to be a little thick, I think. So we're gonna use this one. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna do a coarse grade, and then I'm gonna go to a fine grade. So you do this in a second. So we got our fine grade, and then we got our coarse grade. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up your coarse grade, which, you know, however you gotta open it, you gotta open it. I pop it open. As you can see, it is thick. This is what I meant by neat. My other one is watery. It's like so watery. It's ridiculous, actually. So this is our Persian blue one. We're not gonna use that one. We're gonna use probably use. That's a little too thick. You don't want like. So now we're gonna get some of this on this. What we're gonna do is put it on here. Now, like I said, you don't want to get this on the valve, like on like the stem of the valve, because you don't want to be doing any work on the bottom. You want this to be only on where you want it to be grinding. I always put a little bit on the valve itself too. Probably smarter to do it on the valve, probably, because at least you know exactly where it's going on. So it's probably actually smarter to do it on the valve, to be honest. So at least this way it's like, okay, yep, it's going all right there. That's where she's going. Don't go crazy with WD-40. Like I already did it, so I didn't have to do it again, but I just did it again just so I want to. Now you got that there. So then you got your little stick here. Choose a side, whatever side works best for you, whatever, you know, it's gonna suction onto it. Now this might not suction on because it's, as you know, very pitted, so it might not even get a suction, but with it, lick it a little bit, maybe we'll get some suction. As you see, not much suction. Got a little suction there, that's actually. Come on, you. There we go. You hear that grinding? That grinding is it seating itself. And the only thing that sucks is, like I said, this valve is all discombobulated, so it's probably not really even gonna stick to this very well. Now another trick to this will be using a drill, which I probably will be doing for the rest of these. I'm gonna try to show you guys the hand trick here, but I don't think it's gonna work out so well because I think it's just too pitted in. All right, so on here, you can kind of see where it's lighter at. That's where the compound is working its magic. Now, as you can tell, it's not perfect yet, so we definitely gotta keep going, and I don't even see really where it worked out itself in here, so it's not smooth yet. So keep working it out until you get at least a nice, decent smooth. Like I said, this is like severe damage to these things, so I might not get perfectly smooth, but close enough to where it was still almost perfect. You can also do this, guys. You can also just kind of just massage it back down into it. This will never hurt anything either. If you want to just keep taking it out and stuff, you can also do that to get. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we got it all good out. Let's see, I don't know if the light's going to help or not, but so I see, listen, you see there's still pitting in it a little bit, but I at least got a nice seal around 90% of it. Now, like I said, a lot of these pits are really deep, and you really need like a machine shop to really kind of do this one because it is such a deep pit, and when you do valve lashing, you really don't want to use it against pitted areas. Like you're supposed, it's like minor pits, that's what it's used for a lot. But when you have like major pits like this, like let's say this is like, I don't know, like I said, once again, I don't know how much you can tell or not, but there is some major pitting in this, and it's a lot. It's probably about, maybe I'm not an expert on thousandths of an inch, but they're probably about thousands of an inch needs to be removed, honestly, to make it fully even. So thousands, maybe even 2,000. I'm honestly not really that like experienced with like measurements like that, but it's a good amount that needs to be removed. So to get this, that's pretty solid. That's nice and shiny. So we will be letting the person who buys the boat know, like, the head might need to be redone by a machine shop or just buy a new head. All depends on what the guy wants exactly. But yeah. So right now I'm about to do the fine grade stuff. Now this is more fine, of course. It's fine grade, so just be putting the fine right here. Not going to become perfect, and I'm a perfectionist and I want to make things shiny, but also you sometimes got to look at it and be like, all right, well, what's realistic, what's actually realistic, what's going to be really like a happy median. So all right guys, so listen, I kind of got a little ahead of myself here, but what we got going on here is we're putting the valves back in. We got them all lapped up. Now there it is. That's what they kind of look like. They're shiny at least. This one, like I said, the problem is these are actually severely damaged. I only got them the best I can. If you look at that one, you see pitting on it. It's still a little bit, but it's not as bad. So listen, it's what we have. And like I said, we're selling the boat. We're gonna tell the person who buys the boat that there is that the head has some issues, but we fixed it for what we can. It runs, if it runs good, it runs good. It runs good. We're gonna take it for a test drive and stuff anyways on the water. And if it doesn't, then we'll say, hey, but this is the issue, and if it runs good, say, okay, well, we had this issue, we fixed it. The head could probably use some work on it later on down the road, but right now it works good and it's what it is. But yeah, so right now this one, the intake valves and the exhaust valves in. Don't forget to replace your seals here. They seal your your air from blowing into your oil and sucking the oil down into your intake. So also on your exhaust side, you also do have these little O-ring things, which I'll show you how to put them on. So how you put these on. First, I'm oiling my valve. So I oil the valve up a little bit just to give it some lubrication and so it doesn't rust also at some point. So I got this. I got my little O-ring. Put the valve back through the hole. Slide it through. Take the O-ring. Take the O-ring. Push it around the stem and just slide it right down. And there it is. That's what you got. Now I already put one valve on here. As you see, we have the valve, the spring retainer, and then you got the two little locky things. Which, for example, we got over here. Say the spring, the retainer, and then we have our little lock guys here. So now we're just gonna be basically putting all the valves right back in. All the springs and stuff right back onto here with our tool here. The way this tool works is basically this holds the valve on this side, and this here will actually screw this down. We'll actually screw this down. We'll screw down, but gives you enough room to put the lock inside there, which you guys will see in a second. As you see, the valve is staying in place. Springs going down, valve staying here, opening up for our lock. Surprisingly, it actually does hold on, and it does. And this is how every motor is like, even high performance motors and everything. You just gotta slide them in, and these literally just slide into place. And once they look about level with each other, you start loosening it back up. The only thing I don't like about this tool is this is a cheap tool. Usually there is a lock, but as this thing falls out when you're trying to screw it back up, you're like, come on, just don't. So as you guys can see, got it all locked in. That's around the valve, and that's perfect now. Yeah, so this is basically your head job. Basically, taking your valves in and out, lapping them. That's really all it is to it. And then you got your rocker arms, your push rods. That's on the boat right now. But other than that, that's very simple. The heads are very simple. Alright guys, so listen, that's gonna be it for this video. This is just like me just showing you guys what I was kind of doing here. Hopefully if you guys are watching this to see how you do lapping valves and stuff, hopefully I helped you guys out. Like I said, the best way to do it is kind of using this tool here. Now this was so bad that I had to use a drill to really dig at this thing, because like I said, it was all pitted. It was the intake valves were even a little eaten up, which that's probably why these are leaking, because the intake valves themselves are not very good. So it's definitely not a good scenario we're having right now. But yeah, so I gotta see if I may just take some of these off and redo the intakes or any of them that are leaking. And I'm gonna do a better test probably tomorrow and probably bring all the stuff down to the boat and just do it around on the spot. So hopefully whatever happens, but I'll keep you guys updated. If you guys enjoy the video, please like down below. If you want to see more of the work, like me working on boats and doing other things, listen, leave a comment down below. Let me know down in the comments. And like I said, leave a like also just shows that you like the video and you like to see what's going on. And other than that, guys, listen, I hope you guys enjoy the channel. Leave a like on this. Well, here, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next one. Don't let anyone get in don't forget to follow your dreams. Don't let anyone get in your way. I'll see you guys next one.